Should an Indigenous play move forward without Indigenous actors? So playwright Drew Hayden Taylor wrote in the Globe and Mail that his latest show was actually canceled because there weren't enough older Indigenous actors to cast, especially those interested in doing theater. I think it's important to note that he himself is Indigenous, but Riley, do you think should an Indigenous play go forward if it lacks Indigenous actors?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the conflict because I'm like, I would love to see Drew Hayden Taylor's play. I think he's very funny. I think that should be seen and it should be great. At the same time, if I saw a non-Indigenous person playing an Indigenous person on stage, I'd feel weird. I'd be like, ooh. Fair. And I think part of that is because, like, especially for Indigenous communities, we have this very real phenomenon of people pretending to be Indigenous all the time, you know? Yeah. And so, like, there is, like, this extra layer of, like, seeing that I think has an impact that maybe other communities you wouldn't necessarily see. Like, no one pretends necessarily to be part of the LGBTQ community the same way they might pretend to be part of an Indigenous community. So that's a weird, like, I think, triggery thing.
It's interesting because some people will say, well, the artistic freedom is, well, isn't all acting the idea of someone playing somebody that they're not, right? And so some people would actually use that argument to say, just get the story out, let's do it. But the flip side is artistic freedom historically only goes one way. We have constantly seen white actors play non-white roles throughout the history of cinema and plays. And so the idea is, it seems fine and dandy when a white actor plays a non-white actor, but at the same time, when you flip it, is it the same? It seems the equity only seems to flow in one direction. You know.
Yeah, I think that there are. Yes, I think there are certain circumstances where the play should go forward. So Drew Hayden Taylor, he is Anishinaabe. He is very well esteemed in the community, and I think it does depend on, is this an ensemble cast with mostly Indigenous actors and perhaps one they cannot cast? Should an entire production be canceled and that story not be told? There are Indigenous crew members, writers, directors who may lose an opportunity to tell that story. So I do agree with Riley. It does make you feel weird, but then I also think about this kind of phenomenon of pretendians, right? White people pretending to be Native. I mean, when we think about kind of vetting this, right, in the theater, like who's gonna start doing that vetting, investigating, are you really from where you say you are? Who's going to take on that labor? And I'm not saying that we should just sort of say, well, anybody goes then, right? But it does add this layer of complexity over what stories can be told.
Well, the interesting thing in this case, well, first of all, I feel like there are increasingly so many amazing Indigenous actors, but I feel like I've seen them more in film than in plays. And plays have less of a budget, so I wonder if that's a stumbling block. But it's also the age range. But I just think, like, if you can find a younger actor, then just age makeup? Like, could that not work in this case?
Here's another solution. Here's another quick solution. Go to find your nearest Indigenous community, build a relationship, hold a casting call, and build up that community.
Pipeline.
Build up the pipeline and then document it, make a docuseries we all watch highlighting the issue, and then promote your play. You're welcome. That's all.
And actually, so where the play was canceled is in Port Dover, and the nearest community is Six Nations. That's where I live. And it's the largest reserve in Canada. And I think people would be surprised. Well, I'm available. But I take your point, absolutely.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.